don't know those matches. But before we get into that, first off, we introduce ourselves again. I'm Steve, this is Jess, and that's Zach, and we are the Tourney Junkies. We're the ones in charge of this whole... What?
Oh, remember, I don't pop up unless I speak, so when you introduce me, I have to say something, or else it doesn't pick up.
That's true. And we're the ones in charge of this whole experiment, this whole idea. So with that, we will get right into last week. We'll start with last week's results, just in case you hadn't seen them before on any of our other outlets. On the hero side, it was between Dr. Seuss's The Cat in the Hat and Sebastian from the Black Butler manga. And that was a very close one. One of our probably our closest heroes match we've had so far, surprisingly. I'm not sure why that is. I would love to hear someone explain how the Cat in the Hat won that fight. But I cannot for the life of me figure it out. So it did come down to that, and it did come down to a tiebreaker, and Sebastian did come ahead. Then on the other side, our villains match was between the Sith Lord Darth Vader and the King of the Vampires, Count Dracula. That was again very close, into a tiebreaker, and the Count advances. So Darth Vader already dropping out in the first round is a bit of an upset, I think. And it's strange to think that of like Dracula being an underdog, but I feel like he was in this case. Would you all agree?
I feel like Darth Vader definitely popularity factor.
Yeah. And Dracula's an underdog more often than you would think. He has so many like glaring weaknesses that a lot of people just naturally assume that someone's going to trip and fall on a stake and die.
True. True, but I mean, yeah. So Drac and Sebastian move on. Vampire and Demon. That's always cool. So those matches. And I guess I finished up last week. We can get on with the main portion of today's video, and it'll be this week's matches. As always, we start with the hero side, and what the heroes matches this week.
Bugs Bunny from Looney Tunes versus 11 from Stranger Things. And it's on the battlefield.
That particular one, they do not have bios, I do believe. But there are, on that one, there's no bios.
And they have no bios, no prep time, and
no advantage or anything like that. And yeah, this battlefield isn't like the Super Smash Bros. Battlefield, it's just a plain. This is a war zone. So this is a very, very difficult field. Just even without an opponent, you know what I mean? Just to survive in general. But I guess we will go ahead and talk about the fighters here. And since they're both mine, I'll be the one to talk about them. First off, we have Bugs Bunny, which honestly, you don't really need a bio. I don't really need to tell you anything. Everyone in the world has grown up watching Looney Tunes and knows Bugs Bunny. He's a rabbit.
That's just true. A lot of people didn't watch TV when they were children.
Who?
Some people probably didn't watch TV when they were kids. I don't know.
No.
Also, I don't think our current generation watches Looney Tunes.
I think there's a few different Looney Tunes shows actually on Cartoon Network again.
Oh, because even me, as a 21-year-old, Looney Tunes was primarily not what I watched growing up. I do know of Bugs Bunny, but that's mostly because we lived in a kind of older household where most of the things I was interested or that I was around when I was young was older than me.
Like when I first started watching, when we first got Cartoon Network, one of its things was that it did show a lot of Looney Tunes. So, big place. All right. Anyway, Bugs Bunny is he's in every episode in some kind of trouble, from something out to kill him, capture him, do whatever, or hurt someone else. Bugs is incredibly intelligent, and really just a kind of a prototypical slapstick cartoon character. So high durability, strength that's he's as strong as necessary, as fast as necessary, which can be superhuman at times. His willpower is above average. Even his wisdom is high. His wisdom is very high too. I would say almost supernatural there too. Almost superhuman because he's all about the tricks. He can trick and confuse and confound and defeat any enemy he comes across with whatever object or disguise or trap he needs, which he can just spawn, honestly, somehow. He just like pocket into hammer space. It allows him to pull out whatever he needs, which is very helpful. He is not very often beat. He has very few losses ever on his record in any of his pop culture. Especially on that stupid turtle. Okay, that's Bugs Bunny. Everyone knows it. Although his opponent is a little on the newer side, so not everyone might know this. This is 11, who's probably the most memorable character from Netflix's Stranger Things. 11 is a little girl with telekinetic and telepathic abilities, who is basically raised by the government after they take her away from her mother, and they raise her and hone her powers to be used for exploration and experiments. And then we come into the series, the first part of Stranger Things, with her, with the government using her powers to go into this other dimension, which is called the Upside Down in that series. And while she's in this dimension, this monster escapes. And so it kind of like can cross over into the real world. And that's really what the whole first season is about. It's she escapes and she meets up with a group of boys who she becomes friends with. And it's all about them and the other people in the town trying to defeat this monster, this Demogorgon, as they call it. So she's a little girl. Yes, she's not very talkative because she wasn't really taught to speak as an experiment. It wasn't necessary. Kind of awkward, not very sociable, but she does have very strong telepathy, telekinesis, and dimension. At least accessing that dimension. I'm not sure if it extends on the dimension. So that's those two. And so, how do you guys think that those matches would go? This match would go?
Very differently than you guys, apparently, Joe. I've seen your votes.
I know my vote.
I disagree immensely.
What's your thought? Tell me.
Well, if his main thing is trickery, as it is, I don't feel like trickery works with telepaths. I feel like that kind of breaks that. It's kind of hard to be like, oh, I'm not Bugs Bunny when you're like totally Bugs Bunny in your head. And like, it's like, oh, okay. Now, crunch. Telepathy or just. Plus, he has a habit of being shot at. We're on a battlefield. That's a lot of bullets that will probably go towards him.
Yes, but see, therein lies the reason why I disagree with you. Because of the field. One of our combatants is an actual human. Actual live-action human who would die by gunshots. The other one is a cartoon character who can dodge bullets. Who has ways of avoiding everything. Who's been in war zones before, mind you.
He gets shot a lot.
Yeah, but he never gets actually shot. He gets shot at a lot. He never gets shot.
No, he gets hit. I mean, a few times. And though he doesn't die from it, there's a lot of times where it has to go to another scene when he gets knocked down, which, for all intents and purposes, is incapacitated.
I still don't think.
Anytime that Wile Coyote falls, I know this isn't Wile Coyote, but when he falls and then he has to it goes to black and comes back and he's like a different thing set up, that's enough for him to be incapacitated. That's considered a loss. And the same thing goes with Bugs.
But Bugs doesn't normally get on the other end on that end of that. Daffy Duck gets on the end of that. Elmer Fudd gets on the end of that. Yosemite Sam gets
he's probably the evil one in this scenario. This is one of the ones where I feel like Bugs Bunny is the bad guy.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to paint Eleven as a villain. His little girl. Although I don't know.
That was a science experiment and against her will. It has all the trademarks of what you expect any hero to do. Not really, but it is a good hero setup.
I just don't see her getting very far against in the war zone. I mean, I'm just sorry. I just don't.
I mean, she's a very fun. I know she can't control her telekinesis fully, but couldn't she just stop bullets?
I've never seen her able to do.
How often is she shot?
I don't really want to kill her. The key is they want to get her back. Yes, she can flip cars and things like that, but I mean, that's one thing. I'm not sure if
even one thing. That means she could move that in front of the bullets, right? And just so clear, people don't just discharge their weapons fully all the time. They aren't just like.
Yes, but this is a war zone. There's a lot of bullets, tanks, mortars, sniper fire, all this. Well, I don't think snipers are going to deliberately seek out either one of our combatants here.
I don't know. He does have that weakness. Like I said, Bugs Bunny does have a habit to make everyone dislike him in his world.
No, people come after him, and he beats them all down, doesn't he?
Yeah, that doesn't mean that both armies don't just come out and even if he survives that, but
he'd still probably win. That's the thing, though.
Yeah, but why he's dealing with them?
There are very three. He goes against the turtle. Cecil, he loses, but Bugs is kind of the villain in those shorts. I feel like, and then I think there's one where Elmer gets better of him. Not all that many. He loses very little. He loses a little bit more than like Tweety or Speedy Gonzalez, but that's because if they lost, they'd be
fair.
Again,
between using cartoon logic for powers and plot reasons, they're not technically the same thing. He does have a lot of powers because he is abnormally lucky and he's overly agile when needed to and all that. But there is a certain level of it that's like he doesn't get plot armor in the scenario.
No, he doesn't get plot armor. It's not like the one the one where he's with the gremlin and they're all crashing and then it runs out of gas before it hits the ground. We're not doing that. But like you said, he's incredibly lucky. He has access to anything he needs. Very fast, very durable.
He only brings out stupid stuff. It's funny, I don't think has ever brought out anything useful.
Because he doesn't bring like a bazooka and just blow him away.
Yeah,
it tends to work.
If he did that.
No, I mean, any plans against him, even when he's against a superior opponent, he still wins.
Like who? Who's a superior opponent in the Looney Tunes universe? There's Wile Coyote, who's cursed. There's Elmer Fudd, who's dumb. Yosemite Sam, who's dumb, not headed.
Beyond that, the two they introduced after Sam became the ones they felt like Sam was getting too easy. They did Marvin, who is far more technologically advanced.
He's also incompetent, though.
He's not dumb like Yosemite Sam or Elmer Fudd. He's more intelligent.
He's still incompetent when it comes to earthly matters. Have you watched him in anything?
I've seen.
I've seen every. I know it's newer.
I've seen all with Marvin the Martian, and he tends to decide. He has the technology and he has the intelligence to be able to do it. Bugs
just like street smarts and stuff, which I know 11 doesn't have, but she has telepathy. that balances out street smarts.
Like, really to read minds, though. It's more communication-based. Like, she can communicate through things, through this other dimension. Like, she doesn't read anybody's mind in Stranger Things.
No,
It's
no,
not.
she doesn't actually read people's minds.
No, there's no mind reading. It's only like she can see what's going on. Basically, she has like farsight. She can see what's going on in this other dimension, and she can like communicate through this other dimension. And she has telekinesis on a very, very strong scale. But I don't know that necessarily she reads minds.
That's not telepathy, then. For future reference, yeah. That's not telepathy.
Honestly, it's not, I guess, now that I think about it, but it's not telepathy. So does that change your vote?
Okay, what does Farsight do? She can see it through the other universe, but what can she see? Is it happening at the same time? What does that help ever?
It helps
like, if a bullet's coming at her in her world, and she sees that in the other world, how does that ever help anything?
It doesn't help necessarily in that case. What it's used for in the series is to help keep track and find and defeat the Demogorgon and find the victims that it has in another dimension. She's the only one that can traverse this other dimension at will.
Okay. So it's not powers, it's space-based. He has space-based powers. That would explain how the telekinesis connects to it, because it's pushing space, along with the other two, which are space, not mind.
No, they're still mind-based. Even the Upside Down is mind-based. It's a mind... Huh?
That's weird. How does teleportation...
You don't watch it? I don't know if teleportation is even something that you can do.
Going into another world is considered teleportation. Interdimensional travel is practically teleportation.
If she goes into the other world, she's still here. Her body is still here. It's
astral projection. She can go to like the astral plane. Okay.
Like that, yes.
That's not very useful.
I don't remember everything that you can remember.
Like, I remember she can go into, like, remember when they have her, like, when they put her in the tank and she goes, like, you know, like, pull.
Yeah, I know, it's like.
And she goes into the Upside Down.
That's when she goes into the Upside Down?
Mm-hmm. Because she has to be submerged in water to really get her powers to work. Not anymore. She's actually gotten more control of that. But, no, I don't think it helps in this fight. And I just don't.
She has to really concentrate to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, even without that, I feel like telekinesis could probably still win the... How trusting is she as an individual? I know she's social, or she's antisocial and awkward, but she doesn't seem like this trusting type.
Not trusting at all.
Which includes of disguises, then, wouldn't that?
Right.
So, crunch again.
She's still.
Right.
Wait, what?
She's like, just said that. Yeah, she's still a kid, and he's still a bunny though.
Is he attracted to cute things ever?
Mm-hmm.
Also, again, he's a dick. He's a bunny, but he is a dick. 100%. He is mean. There's a reason why multiple villains had to get replaced because people pitied them. It's because the hero was an ass.
It's because he was too good. He would go too far. Or like they would feel like he would lose. Yeah, they feel like he was going to
too far. The translation of that is they're a dick. If you go too far in something, you're normally a dick.
I could see this going either way. I can see 11 just like getting shot in some way, or like a mortar, you know, or a mine or something going off near her, and then her getting hurt. But I could also see like her just using her telekinesis and completely like stop everything that's going on, and including Bug. I mean, but I don't know if she could do that for everything. So that's why I feel like
Not gonna be upset if the lover of Eggo Waffles wins.
Yeah, waffles are better than carrots.
Either one.
So yeah, it works. I mean, but my personal vote was for the bunny.
I don't like the fact that his only way of winning is the map. That's what it's always like. I'm okay with the map.
What? I didn't say it's his only way of winning because he can always win. He always does. By outsmarting.
Yeah, that's because they normally give up at some point.
Yeah, everyone does. How many times do you have to blow somebody up before they give up, right?
Yeah.
Blew up like a million times and they're going to go away. Why don't you just shoot them with a cannon? He's an expert at using people's own weapons against him. And using people's own strengths against him also.
They're all mostly... He doesn't use any, like... He doesn't have to fight anyone with superpowers. Up to, like, the witch, but, like... She's not a very good witch.
Who? Taz.
I know this really doesn't help. We both just, being friends and walking off and not fighting. I can see that happening too.
Hold hands.
Yep. Hold hands and walk away.
That doesn't help.
I know it doesn't help, but I can see that happening.
I can see that. Like, I don't see Bugs like going out of his way to hurt this little girl.
In that case, 11 would win because bunnies have short lifespans. Yeah.
Not Bugs. He's been around since when?
But he does have 60 years. Huh.
His growth is like the 30s or 40s. But yeah, I could very well see it. I mean, honestly, looking at it that way, think about it. They'd be like, Bugs Bunny is like it's sitting out of this war zone, and he sees this little girl walking and getting shot at, and he just.
Oh yeah, it'd become like the Tom and Jerry episode where they're trying to stop the baby in the construction site. Only a little bit older of a baby and a little bit more competent of a hero, but still. If this is Looney Tunes shorts, Bugs would get his ass kicked by everything while trying to save 11. He's just like sitting there eating waffles. And that's it.
Watch that. I think I've watched that.
So, yeah. New scenario, still going with 11.
Maybe he bribes her with waffles.
He can pull out waffles. But he doesn't have bios. He doesn't know she likes waffles.
But she might mention it.
Does she naturally mention waffles to her enemies?
Who doesn't mention waffles to their enemies? Anyway, I think we're all going to have to agree to disagree on this one. I go for the bunny all the way. All right, so we move on to the villains match. That match is
King Dedede of the Kirby games versus Wile Coyote. Maybe.
We got nothing in 1 week, so whatever.
Ants on rooftops.
Mm-hmm. This one does have bios. It does have like dossiers and prep time. So that's cool. I think it's if I'm not mistaken, this one even gives the Coyote a 1 hour advantage.
Yes, it does.
The Coyote has a 1 hour advantage.
So, in short, this match is done before Deity shows up. Okay.
Okay, go ahead and lead us. Tell us about King Dedede.
Well, apparently he's only bad in like 2 games. That's what I actually found out.
He's just kind of a jerk.
Not even that. Most of the time he's just an empty shell being possessed by someone. He's possessed in like 6 different games.
That's a lot. I know, and like one of the times he's bad, he's actually trying to save the world.
Yeah. Like he's literally bad like in his first appearance and like one other time that isn't a remake, and that's it. Like he's worse in the TV show than he is in the actual game. But In short,
So, in short, he's a villain for his purposes.
yeah, he's still a villain, so let's focus on his fighting styles and that. He's a bit dim-witted. He's very gluttonous, and he's the kind of man that wants to solve all the world's problems with a hammer.
That's amazing.
He's a penguin. He can eat things at increased velocities, enough to completely pick people up off their feet into his mouth, just from a distance, just like a vacuum, like a really powerful, like what's the venom on spaceships? Or like airplanes?
Like
sort of like that.
Yeah, like supposed to be compression.
Yeah, really powerful. He can fly moderately as long as he puffs up and fills himself full of air.
Mm-hmm.
He's also an incredibly good jumper. Separately.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's a nice, decent dossier for him. Now you
mentioned the hammer or his minions that he has?
He solves all the world's problems with a hammer. That's a hammer. I know it's mechanized, but I have a sort of think of him primarily as using just a wood mallet. I know it gets a rocket in it, but like he's already really strong. Like in 64, he's able to break through brick walls with it. I don't feel like he needs a rocket on it. But
all right then. And his opponent, Wile E. Coyote. Super genius. Wile E. Coyote is the nemesis of the Roadrunner. So he's in every Roadrunner cartoon. And a couple of other ones. Beyond the Roadrunner. Because of Bugs Bunny. Wile E. Coyote is a incredibly intelligent coyote. Very verbose. Very confident when he does talk. He's mostly what he does is create traps. Very elaborate, intelligent traps.
does he create them?
He at least builds them.
I guess, but I don't call someone a genius for putting together like an IKEA couch. It's not that big of a deal.
He does his own blueprints and stuff.
Yeah, like he builds he gets like a bunch of different things and then puts them together into a trap.
Oh, okay, fair enough then. That's pretty smart.
So he's fairly strong. I mean, stronger than the coyotes. I mean, probably above average for human strength for human size. Yeah, coyote.
That's true. Just to learn about.
Yes. Okay. His durability is off the charts. He's got insane durability because he's a Looney Tunes cartoon. Especially a villainous Looney Tunes cartoon. So he gets beat up a lot. He gets blown up, thrown off cliffs, hit by trucks, smashed by things, whatever. All day. That's what he does. So his endurance is incredibly high. His speed and his agility are amazing. Superhuman. Just not quite Roadrunner speed. But he's very close. He can compete. So very few other people in this tournament are going to be able to compete with Wile E. Coyote as far as speed and agility goes. And intelligence, like I said, super genius, very smart. Wisdom is where it kind of falls apart for him. Because sometimes his genius plans will have a glaring flaw. Or like, why would you think that would work? So that's like, his plans either fell for one of two reasons. Either that, he misses something glaring and it goes wrong like everyone would predict, or he's just terribly unlucky and stuff happens that should not even be able to happen to destroy his otherwise genius plan. The coyote's just in this to eat. So all his ever mission is to find and catch the Roadrunner and eat.
How does penguin taste?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if he'll be chasing this bird. This bird doesn't move quite as fast. So he'll get you.
Yeah, he has a blue bird.
Yeah. See? Thank the blue birds. Wile E. Coyote also has an unexplained power that no matter where he is, And despite being a coyote without money, he can get anything that Acme creates delivered to him. Normally pretty quick too, like rush delivery. Crazy. Like, middle of the desert, coyote orders something, and it's right there as soon as he orders it. I feel like it's a power that we're gonna have to give him access to. Because that's what he does. So he's gonna have Acme products. For better or worse. And so that's the coyote.
Okay, third question.
What?
Wait. One, you say agility. Does he ever, what agility does he ever showcase? I know he's fast, but
You run
I
up
don't see him doing
walls.
somersaults. Wait, what?
He can run up walls. It's pretty agile.
Fair enough. Okay. Second of all, how do you know he's not rich?
He's a coyote.
And
No one ever said coyote's rich.
he sounds very posh. I mean, he could be rich.
You never see the coyote have money.
You never see him being broke either.
But like, normally the animals in Looney Tunes don't have money.
Fair. And third, is it possible that Wile E. Coyote is like Bruce Wayne, and he's actually the owner of his own company, and it is Acme?
Acme Enterprises. That'd be weird.
It would make a lot more sense.
Very well
You're
done.
Yeah.
It would explain things. All right. So, Jess, how do you see it going?
I think Wile E. Coyote puts up a lot of different traps. But he's so unlucky, I think he's gonna kill himself. Like, gonna end up blowing himself up or falling off the building, which Dedede doesn't have to worry about because we're tough.
Like, yeah, he's like Herbert. He doesn't really fly with his wings. He flies with his inflatables.
And Wile E. Coyote might get eaten.
Yeah, trying to eat the bird, but then the bird eats him.
Like, Dedede doesn't swallow people like Kirby does. He just goes and spits him out as a star.
And he goes, "Ew." Way. So it counts as death.
I can see that. I mean, honestly, even if you fall off the rooftop, that's leaving the arena. This is just the rooftops after all, so.
Yeah. The rooftops, I think, means that this only ends one way, and that's.
Wait, do we know if Wile E. Coyote is actually unlucky, or is it just the Roadrunner is extremely lucky, like positive luck?
It'd be just like Bugs Bunny too, then, because Wile E. Coyote loses to Bugs Bunny a couple times too.
Yeah, but doesn't Bugs Bunny outsmart him? I don't remember him running through a picture like Roadrunner does.
Maybe Roadrunner just having luck.
Because Roadrunner also, you were talking about Looney Tunes that don't lose very often. He lost once and never in America. So.
Yeah, he loses. It's like Tweety, or like I said though, it's like Tweety or Speedy Gonzalez. They can't. If they lose, they're eaten.
Right. Is that what happens in that one Bandit episode? Does he get eaten?
I don't know. I've never seen it. Probably should research something. But
Human research? I guess, yeah, it's not really canon for us.
no. I've researched plenty of Wile E. Coyote cartoons, plenty of Bugs Bunny cartoons. But yeah, I just don't see either way. The coyote goes down because that's what he does. He's gonna job. The coyote jobs.
Fair.
Yeah, my votes are for the bunny and the penguin. Agreed?
That's what I thought.
Penguin and the human.
I could be switched on 11, maybe. It could go either way.
If that gave you some delicious waffles.
Mm-hmm.
That could totally work. You guys want that?
All right. So that's those matches.
I don't think what Eggos could swing you that. Belgian waffle?
All right. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do a. First off, Definitely go and visit the site. Read over the bios, the matches, the maps, the research materials that we're offering on there.
But we're at tourneyyunkies.com.
Yeah,
And yeah, we have our own domain name now.
Yeah, we are now Tourney Junkies, although the blog spot still works too. If you do still use that, if you like
That's
a
easy.
favorite or something, but yeah, tourneyjunkies.com, same site, new web address. So, because we own that domain name. So definitely head over there. Check out the bios, check out the maps, matches, check out the tournament brackets, see future matches. You can check out the research materials that we're offering for sale on now through our Amazon portal. And definitely the polls. Polls are definitely important. It's how people move on. It's how you make your voice heard. So vote, comment, probably do both, just so you know. Make sure you vote. These current matches are going to end on Saturday night at midnight. And we'll have our next matches come up then. So, next week's matches. On the hero side, it's going to be between Ezio Auditore, the assassin, the main assassin, or the most well-liked assassin from Assassin's Creed games, and Ellen Ripley, the heroine of the original Alien population. They call it the Alien population.
Wait, that's 4 Aliens movies?
There's more than that, but the original, the 4 good, well, 4 best.
I thought there was only 2. I thought there was Aliens and then Alien, or Alien and then Aliens. The hell
Alien 3, and then Alien Resurrection. All have Ripley.
Those are bad, right? Or at least worse.
Huh?
Those are worse than 1 and 2, obviously. Yes.
And the last one's not really.
Worse.
Technically, our Ellen Ripley goes through 3 and that stops.
It begins in Alien, goes through Aliens.
Although badass in Resurrections.
It'll be the assassin. The Ezio
Yeah,
versus
that's
Ripley.
only from his first couple appearances. He's in 3 games, but there's a pretty big time skip. So we're going to go with younger, more handsome Ezio.
And then on the villain side of this is actually a match between video game villains from the 90s. I think both of them have had games since the 90s where they've been the main villain, but that's where they start.
That's just not true. One of them hasn't.
Yeah, they both have.
The first one hasn't. No, he's Eggman.
But he's still the same guy, Dr. Ivo Robotnik.
I don't know about that anymore. He doesn't introduce himself as so. If you start introducing yourself as Dr. Eggman, you've either had some serious mental trauma or that's your name. That's just your name now.
Maybe he has. Maybe he's just losing to the Hedgehog that many times. It's just broken. He's done. I'm telling you, between Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, he was broke. Because, like, he argues the point in Sonic Adventure 1, but then by Sonic Adventure 2, he's just like, whatever, I'm Eggman. But yes, Dr. Ivo Robotnik from the Sonic the Hedgehog series. Going all the way back to Sonic the Hedgehog 1 back in the early 90s, on the Genesis.
And we're stopping before Sonic Adventure 1. Everything gets janky after that. I like the 3D Sonic games, but Robotnik changes, man. And not for the better.
Yeah. I think he's at his best when he just has a bunch of, like, whatever giant robotic machines to fight you at the end of every level.
Yeah. When he gets pushed down a second fiddle in the Sonic Adventure games where he's Tails as bad guy.
Yeah, because I think in Adventure, Chaos is the main bad guy. It's still technically a Robotnik's creature, but I feel like Chaos is the main bad guy.
Yeah.
And then in 2, where Shadow becomes the main bad guy. You know, he works for Robotnik. So. Anyway, and Robotnik is going to be. It hasn't been in as many games. I think she's only ever been in 3.
Yes.
But they're still very memorable. Especially the first one. And that would be Gruntilda the Witch from the Banjo-Kazooie series. made by Rare for the N64 for the first two games. And then
Oh,
the third
Tourney was on the 64 originally? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Because Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie were both in N64. And there was like a long period with nothing. And then they made Nuts and Bolts in the 360.
On that still a Nintendo system? I don't know. Rare still had a deal with Nintendo at the time. But I guess we had Viva Pinata too on the 360.
They came together. They were like, I know that they were the two games I got whenever I just bought when I bought my Xbox. But I don't know. Like Rare still technically has to have some kind of deal, right? Because they created the extended Kong universe. And
yeah, and all of them exist.
Yeah, they did Diddy Kong.
I guess there was a time that Diddy wasn't used though. Like, what is it? Is it Super Mario Kart or whatever? They want to have Diddy Kong and they couldn't.
I don't know. Since at least Double Dash, they've used Diddy Kong in all of them. Yeah, this is about the Kong. This is about Dr. Robotnik versus Gruntilda.
Particularly the Gruntilda with flesh. Not the bony one, not the head in a jar. Green skin.
So the original Gruntilda from Banjo-Kazooie. Which is probably the best game in the series.
I don't know, Tooie's cool. Tooie's a good game.
Tooie is cool. He does something different, but the idea of having them together, I think, was what really made it. I mean, I feel like it may have been, it may have been a better 3D platformer than Mario 64.
I disagree. Super Mario 64 was a great game.
It was a great game, but just saying.
Banjo-Kazooie also had wonky-ass controls, so it loses points for that.
All N64 games, especially early N64 games, had wonky controls.
True, but it made me go in the water more. So it was definitely more apparent. There's like, I know there's like 3 water levels in Super Mario 64, but like, I don't know. None of them has ever annoyed me as much as Clanker's Caverns did.
Clanker's Caverns annoyed me immensely too. But there are some very bad camera angles in 64. In Super Mario 64, like when you're trying to jump like on narrow ledges up a mountain or something, and it's like,
oh, yeah, it's like, how do we zoom out really far and then spin it?
Nonetheless, not comparing those either. That's not what the argument is about. But, you know, I guess you can leave your comments and let us know there too. That'll work.
Oh, we can have that feature for that? I would like to just compare video games to each other.
That would be kind of hard. I mean, we'd have to develop a testing system, like stuff that would need to be. I worked out one for movies, by the way. We worked out one for music. To do one for video games then.
It wouldn't be that hard. I plan on working out things for everything. Everything that's possible. You transmitted through the internet.
I'm just gonna make you do a book tournament things like that.
I'd be okay with that. If it was something I could challenge things against. Like, I've gotten your point that like a food tournament wouldn't work, but like everything else totally could.
Just because a food tournament wouldn't be like immersive for other people. Like
I know.
You're just talking about ingredients or like food that you make or restaurant food.
You could do ingredients. You could do strawberries versus kumquats or whatever. Like,
which is the most delicious fruit?
It wouldn't just be delicious. Delicious would be one of it, but it'd be like how strong is its flavor profile? How versatile is it? Things like that.
That would be a hard one, but we'll see. But nonetheless, it's a long ways and a lot of use and like that. So, and those are our next week's matches. The next set of matches, match 13. We will be back to discuss those matches on Monday, the 8th. Monday 8th.
At 8.
It's not 8th. What is Monday?
It's the 18th.
18th. And why?
You get off at 7:30.
Oh yeah, probably do it at 8. That works. It's a good reason. Get off at 7:30. So yeah, we'll do the video at 8 p.m. Central on Monday. And we'll see you guys then. In the meantime, like I said, definitely go on the site, tourneyjunkies.com. Vote. Make your voice heard. And check out the merch we got on YouTube. In the meantime, gotta put the merch. You know that. So, like I said, go vote, help us determine who we like.